Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Andy and I'm the painting fireman. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for subscribing. If you've subscribed already, if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up and a like and a subscribe. Today what we're going to do is we're going to keep going with our seascape themes. This will probably be the last one I do, but like I said before, I like painting stuff that I'm not really familiar with, and that's the only way you get better. So keep going if you're painting along with me, or if you're just starting out, make sure you just practice. That's the main key in oil painting. Today what we have here is a 10 by 20 canvas. I've covered it in a flat black acrylic, let that dry. I put my liquid clear on, and I put a little crimson and a little bit of Prussian blue. And the Prussian blue is mixed with the crimson, and it'll create a purple color in the sky. Same thing in the water, basically the reverse of what's in the sky. Today we're going to do a sunset. One of my friends said that she really likes sunsets, sunset seascapes, so we're going to try that one today. So come up on the canvas and let's get going. So first we're just going to take a little bit of white, just a little bit of white on the 1-inch brush. It's a small canvas. Like I said, it's a 10 by 20, so big brushes aren't really going to work very well on this one. And we're going to take some Indian yellow. So white and Indian yellow, not a lot on the brush. Start off with a little bit of color, and you can always add more. I noticed in the last video I kind of said that in reverse. So you want to start with a little bit of color, and it's always easier to add more. It's really hard to take away color once it's on the canvas. So start off just a little bit, and then you can always add. So we need to figure out where our light source is going to be, and I'm just trying to decide whether it's going to be on the left or the right. You don't want them right down the middle. You can, but the viewer, if you're going to do a seascape with the sun right in the middle, that wave's going to be pointing at you. So I kind of want it off to the side. So I think we're going to go on this side right here. And all I'm going to do is add that color and go outwards with it. And I'm just making little kind of rocking patterns or rocking shapes. We can come back into the middle there. And this is going to be a sunset, so it's going to be pretty dark in the sky. So away from the sun, you want it a little bit darker. And I'm not adding a lot of paint on my brush as we speak, and I'm just making those rocking motions. And it's going to mix with our blue color that we put. It's going to turn purple. And I'm just trying to add just a little bit of color just to see where we're at with our tones. Like I said, it's going to be pretty dark. We'll add some clouds in there, and we'll brighten up the middle part. And I'm just applying just that white paint. I haven't cleaned my brush, the white and a little bit of yellow, and we'll come back in the middle. The most important part is you don't want to come back into the middle when that bright color's there, because that blue will mix in there and then it'll take away your sun, or it'll take away your light source. So I'm just slowly adding a little bit of paint at a time. And I want that horizon to be fairly bright, maybe up here a little bit brighter, but not too much. And we can just kind of wipe off our brush. Like I said, I don't got a lot of paint on there, so I don't really need to clean it 100%. And we're going to go back into that white. And I think I'm going to add just a bit more yellow. I want this to be a deep sunset kind of. Just a little bit more of that Indian yellow. We can go back there again. Come out with it. Maybe it comes up a little bit. And I think we'll put some clouds in the sky there. And we'll blend everything out. But I don't want this sky to be super bright at all. Like I said, it's a sunset. And that color will mix, and you can even make circles if you want. If you want it cloudy, I don't want it particularly cloudy. I might throw in a couple little clouds kind of hanging out there. And just keep going with that. We're just gonna add some color. And if you kind of make a mistake, you can always rub that off. That's the kind of beauty about oil paint. If you do make a little bit of a mistake, then you can just go in, rub a little bit off, and then keep going. It does not dry. It takes quite a long time for it to dry. So you can always take paint off. And that's the really nice thing about this wet on wet technique. The canvas is wet pretty much all the time, and it does take quite a long time to dry. My paintings usually take, a couple weeks to fully dry before I can put a varnish on it. And like I said, we're gonna blend all that out. I want that center even more, a little bit wider with that yellow. So I might take some of this. I have yellow ochre, and it's kind of a golden color. And I might put that yellow ochre on top just a little bit. Go this way with it. Mix it with that white. Go this side a little bit. Just make that where that sun is just a little bit wider on the horizon. And you can lighten it up. And like I said, we're going to blend this out. So hopefully everything will mix in. You can add a little bit of color in the sky here. Kind of make it look like it's kind of floating out this way a little bit. Just a little bit, just to brighten it up just a little bit. Still making kind of those rocking motions. And then we can take our big brush. When you think you've done enough here, I think just a bit more over here. Just lighten it up just a little bit. Just that horizon I want a little bit lighter. And we can go back, kind of fool around with the colors a little bit. Maybe a little more yellow in there. There's a nice, there's our there is our gold color from our yellow ochre. Very beautiful color. And just keep going. You can. I'm not doing anything. Not doing anything fantastic with my brushes. All I'm doing really is those little kind of strokes this way, and we can always put some clouds in after, like I said, just to even it out. So you can take your big brush, and what I'm going to do, always make sure you're starting in the nice kind of light color. And you don't want to mix with your blue or your purple down this way, okay? So always start here, and you can nicely blend it out. But don't go back into that middle quite yet. You're gonna want to clean your brush. And when we blend it out, it's gonna kind of make a really nice sunset sky. Like I said, we're gonna put some clouds in there. So I'm just gonna continue blending our sky out, and then we'll throw some clouds in. All right, I just finished blending out that sky. We're gonna put, I added just a little bit of color here and there. Nothing too fancy. I just wanted it a little bit brighter in certain spots, but that's about it. I didn't add too much. So we're gonna start putting just a few. I don't want a lot of clouds in my sky today. I think it looks pretty neat that way. We're just going to pick out just a couple spots that we can add some dark clouds. We're going to go with our alizarin crimson and our blue, our Prussian blue, and it's going to make a pretty nice purple color. I want it fairly dark, and we're just going to go up here, and we're just going to add a little indication of clouds. And I don't want them those big poofy clouds that we usually do. just some of those long wispy clouds that you kind of see at the ocean sometimes, and you can even bring that in front of your yellow. Just a little indication, and I'm very lightly touching the canvas, barely touching anything. Just making those kind of indications of those dark purpley looking clouds that kind of hang out by the ocean there. Just here and there, not overdoing it at all. I just want it to look like there's just a little bit of cloudiness in the sky. And I'm not pressing down hard at all. I'm just kind of, you know, just kind of gently putting some lines in there. I guess that would be the best way to put it. Just a few lines, even in front of this darkness here. And we can blend those out as well. We'll take our 1-inch brush, make sure it's a little bit, just make sure it's a little bit clean. And I just want to go over top of them and just blend them into the sky. Very gently. 2 hairs and some air. That's what Bob Ross used to say. 2 hairs and some air. Just to blur them out ever so slightly. You still want them to show up because you put them there for a reason, just to add that little bit of dimension into the sunset. And in front, and maybe you can take a little bit of that purple color. And have a look. You can always step back. I always lean back and have a look. You can always step back, look where you need a little more definition or clouds you think maybe another one should be, and just put it in. Take that little risk, take that little chance, and put those clouds in. And just those little ones will definitely help your painting out quite a bit. And just go through, like I said, I'm just gently blending those out. Trying to avoid the middle as much as I can. I kind of like the shape it's in right there. It's a pretty nice looking sunset. All right, time to take off the hockey tape. Like I said, you can use masking tape, but just make sure you put it on before you start all of this, before you even start putting your liquid clear on there, because it won't stick. So, time to take off our tape, and you can see we've revealed an excellent looking horizon, nice and straight. Now the issue we have now is under here, this is completely dry. So we need to take a little bit of our crimson color, a little bit of crimson, maybe a little bit of that phthalo blue, not too much. Phthalo blue is much stronger than the crimson color. And all we're gonna do is fill in the top. And we're just gonna go across and go as close as you can, and then you can take your filbert brush, whichever brush you want, fan brush, but something a little smaller than your 1-inch brush, something you got control of, and fill in all the way to the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the dry spot, and then we'll put our waves in. All right, I just finished filling in that part where it was all dry on my canvas, and now we're going to start with our waves. I think before we even start, we're going to figure out where our main big wave, I think we're going to have a nice wave come in and crash right around here. We'll put some big rocks or couple rocks out this way. So what you can do is you can take a filbert or just a smaller brush. You can even use your fan brush, whatever you want. Take some white paint, even if it's mixed with that yellow, that's okay. And I think I want to crash it this way, I think. So our big front wave, I think will go here, and you can just roughly sketch it in. Well, maybe I don't know, we'll see where it goes. And maybe here. See how that wave's coming in? And then I want that to crash, so that's gonna be kind of a big part here, crashing over, and then up and around, crashing, and I think it will make it kind of splashing into the sky. So above the horizon line, we'll have that big plume of water kind of upwards. And then over here, we'll just put our big rock and stuff like that. Maybe we'll even go up into the horizon line. This is a really good way to kind of map out how your wave's gonna look. You can see how it's going like this. Here's going to be kind of the eye of the wave, and it's going to be crashing it's going to keep going this way and crashing over. You can even put a couple secondary waves in the back. And we want it dark, pretty dark on this side. The center is going to be our bright spot. You can add a little bit more paint if you want, just to this part here. Maybe there's another crasher here. I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. And then just kind of dark on that side. All right, let's go to the back of our painting. Now, when we do our paintings, everything farthest we paint first, and then we're coming forward in our paintings. Let's just grab some plain old white, and we might throw some Indian or some Indian yellow, maybe some yellow ochre. Just making a nice kind of light yellow color. And we're gonna go right in here. So I think my sun is right around this area here. So we're just gonna make our little kind of U-shaped strokes all the way up to the horizon. You can do this with a palette knife. Palette knife actually gives it a really nice choppiness to it. And you want to leave the dark spots because that'll make it look like waves in there. And as we go towards, you can make them longer, as we go towards the end of the painting where it's not so bright, we're just adding the slight indication. And like I said, we're going to go back and highlight that middle even more. Just choppy kind of waves in the ocean. And around this area here, we'll cover this with rocks. So we're not all too 100% worried about over here. This is going to be covered up by our waves, so you can see our waves going to come in. And I'll just put it in here. It's going to kind of go in and curl over like that. So just to show you what it's gonna look like. All right, let's put some more here. And that sunset is kind of glistening on different waves in the background here. And just in case our rock doesn't quite go on top, maybe we change our mind, we'll just throw just a little bit of color in here, just in case. Just in case. Now these waves are quite far back. They're quite a ways away. You're gonna get a little detail on them, but not a ton. So don't be worried if they don't look 100% like waves. As long as you make that little stroke up and down, you'll be fine. Let's keep going with our waves here. Now this wave here that I drew in, we can highlight it just a bit, and I want to draw it kind of flat back. So waves, when they come in, there's a swell of flatness and then it goes up. So what you want to do is you want to take this part of the wave and just I'm almost going flat across, almost equal to the horizon. And I'm just drawing it back. Just ever so gently, not a ton of paint. And I'm just using kind of the paint I used for my initial kind of sketch. And I'm just trying to draw some of that paint backwards into this little swell. And we're going to go darker. And if you see a dark spot, don't worry about it. You can just blend it out. Like I noticed over here, I got a couple dark spots. And I think we're going to come in and highlight a little bit more up the middle. And just draw this back really nicely. And it's curling up. You can see just kind of this wave just kind of appeared out of nowhere. And you just want to kind of follow it and go almost to the top of that wave. And just drawing it back. I want the eye of our wave right here a little translucent. So we're going to take that yellow again, white, a little more white, make it a little brighter. And I think, you know, sometimes when you look at waves, the color shines through. They're not 100% solid color. So we're just going to add that color right in here. So just using a circular motion, pressing pretty hard, using a lot of paint, just making that circle part, and then underneath the top of this wave, just adding some in. And we're gonna blend that out. So I know it kind of looks weird right now, but we're gonna put a shadow on top. We're gonna do a lot of things to this wave. So you can take your 1-inch brush, nice and dry. We're just going to blend it out, just to make that kind of, clear spot in the sky, or in the wave. And I'm just making nice circular kind of motions with it. And that wave is kind of crashing over here. I want to keep this pretty bright, and it'll mix with those colors underneath. Maybe we'll take our filbert again, and I just want to add a little bit of color down this way too. Not too far. Like I said, darker, darker, darker as we kind of lose our light source. But I still want some color under here. Just want to blend it out again. Nice clean brush right underneath, almost to the top of that wave. Just blending it out. So maybe there's this wave here is coming over and it's starting to crash a little bit too. But it's not as big as our big crasher right there. So just blend that out. Blending it out. All right. Let's put our wave in. I'm going to take that yellow just on the fan brush. It's coming here. Just crashing over. All right, let's add a bit of our shadow underneath. We're going to take our filbert and we're going to take kind of a purple violet color, a little more to the blue side, I think. Just a dark, kind of dark shadow. Oh, that's too much. Add a little white to it if you don't like that color. There we go. So I kind of make a violet looking color. That's a pretty nice shadow color. And it's going to mix also with what's on our canvas here. So you can take that brush and right on the bottom of the wave, we're going to create a shadow all the way around. And we're just going to make circles with our shadow color. We're going to come over that and just gently over here. And just nice little circle motions. We just want it a little bit darker under here. Just a bit darker. And we're just highlighting or putting a shadow color underneath our wave. All we're doing, nice little shadow color. You can make it a little bit fatter here because I think that it's gonna sploosh up that water's right into our sky. And we really need that shadow to accent the whiteness and the brightness of that crashing water. So we'll take our 1-inch brush again. I really haven't cleaned a lot of brushes today, so, and just on the bottom, just using the top corner of my 1-inch brush, we're just gonna blend that out. And this is gonna help with our, the effect of the shiny white water that we have. All right, we're gonna put our nice crashing water in. Like I said, there's gonna be a big rock that this is gonna crash against. So I'm gonna use white and just a tinge of our yellow, or just a little bit. I don't want it 100% white, but 95% white. Okay, load up a lot of paint on your fan brush. You're gonna go and take the corner of your fan brush and right under that shadow, you're just gonna make circular patterns. Just kind of press up. Just press up, and we're gonna blend that out and load up when you need to. It is crashing quite hard against that. Quite hard against that big rock there. And then we can go up and add a little bit here and just keep going because maybe it crashes, it's coming over a little bit here. You know how it's just starting to crash over. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some here and we're just gonna turn our fan brush over and just drop just a hint of a wave coming over. Not too much. Still want it splashing on top of there. We can blend all that out. Just a little bit. Because it's curling up and over. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in my mind before I even put it on here. And maybe this one kind of crashes a little more. Maybe there's going to be a little rock here or something we can always add. Okay, and just keep going with this, and we're going to blend out the bottom again. Make sure our eye is still a little bit transparent. And you can add a little bit here, and maybe crashes just a little bit. And just taking the corner, just the corner of my brush. Adding some more. And we'll take our 1-inch brush and we're just going to gently blend this in. Clean off that. And we're going to go into our eye again. And blend that out. I think I need more splashing right here. Just go ahead and add some in there. Maybe a little bit of white, just to add that effect, that water coming over there. You can go in, blend this out a little bit. You can see, maybe we'll add some more in there. Just blending the bottom up. Just to add just a little bit more detail to those crashing parts, you tap your 1-inch brush in here, and you just want the ends of your brush, just, I don't know if you can see that, just with a little bit of paint, and we can add, and we're just tapping, just kind of those splash marks when it hits right into our sky. I think we'll put our land in. So I just want a dark color. Got some black and some brown. Just a nice dark color, just on the knife. You can use your 1-inch brush or whatever, the fan brush, doesn't matter. But I kind of like using the knife. So take your knife and we can put our little rock, maybe it's a big rock, and it's almost like doing a mountain. Same idea. It crashes here, and just fill this in. Like I said, you can do it with your fan brush, whatever, doesn't matter. Maybe ends up here. That wave's crashing against that big old rock. We're just gonna put some indications. Just maybe that's where kind of the top of the rock is. Maybe there's a bit of a ledge here of some sort. Comes down. Just light pressure, almost like you're doing a mountain. Just to give that indication that it's a rock. Just on the top of it. And then we can put one nice and dark. We can put some of our white and yellow. Still not too bright, but I think maybe because the sun is kind of shining, or the sunset's kind of hitting, it might glisten just a little bit on our rock here. Just a very, very minute amount. Didn't want that one there. Like I said, if you make a mistake, you can just scrape it off. Take some of that color again. No problem. There we go. Just a little bit. I think, you know, what's coming through here. We can even add some water spraying up against that part. All right, we're gonna put our beach in. I just made up a little bit of a color, just some white and blue. Gonna cut across our knife. We're gonna take half of that paint, just peel it off of there. And we're just gonna take our knife and figure out whereabouts that water kind of ends up. It goes off this way. And off. Now you could also take your knife, scrub it in, and it'll make it look like that water is kind of creeping back into the wave. Now we're gonna fix that up, but this is kind of like the flat part right now. That wave's coming over and it's virtually flat. And that sun is kind of glistening in there. Just take your knife and you can just scrub a little bit back. and it's going up into that wave. And all I'm doing is picking up just a little bit of paint that's on the canvas already, and I just want it to look really foamy. So that's kind of what I'm doing with the knife. We'll just take our 1-inch brush, put it in some yellow, and we're just going to put a beach in here. And we're pulling straight down, straight down. I'm trying to leave a little ridge here. Actually, you can probably do it better with your big brush. Straight down. And try and leave that little ridge of water there. Up here a little bit more. Right up against that. And gently, gently, gently go across. And that'll create that nice little shadow, or that nice little reflection, like we're on land. So take your time with this. And grab your knife again. I think in the front there where that wave's crashing, can add a little more of our kind of foamy bits, right? Because I think maybe it crashes over there just a little bit on the knife. My beach, we're just gonna put a few more highlights. Kind of, I just wanted a little bit brighter where our sun is. So we're just going to take a little small liner brush, just a little bit, and we're just going to pick out a few spots kind of where you think that sun would shine. And you can use almost pure white for this. Maybe in here. Just add those little bit of highlights. Just where that the sun is, it'll really help your painting, give it a little more depth in there. Just highlight a few, maybe a little bit in the back, just to bring out those waves even more. Well, I think we got a finished painting. You can take your brush. I think I'm going to pick this nice purple color. Just looks really good. Nice and thin on your liner brush. Roll it around so you get a nice point. I'm going to go right in the bottom corner here. Nothing too big. If you know, it's your signature, you can put whatever you want. I just don't want my signature to be super visible, but when they have a look at your painting, they know who did it. So always sign your paintings. Show off your work. All right, that is our sunset seascape. So thank you very much for joining me. My name's Andy, the painting fireman, and keep your shiny side up. Have a good day, everyone.